Love road trips, both big and small. And this summer, before my most recent road trip to St. Augustine, I made sure I checked out NHTSA's summer road trip tips, and I think you should too if you're traveling this summer. I'm gonna link them down below. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how I prepared for my most recent road trip to St. Augustine before hitting the road. Summer is a great time to hit the road and start exploring, but it does come with some risks and challenges as well, such as extreme heat. I'm from Florida, trust me, I know. And you wanna make sure that your vehicle is a-okay so that you can enjoy your road trip. That's why I wanted to take NHTSA's road trip tips for the summer with me and prepare for my smaller road trip adventure to St. Augustine, a beautiful, old, historic, charming town located just 2.5 hours north of Orlando. And I thought it was the perfect way to kickstart this summer of travel. Before I hit the road, I always check my car for any issues that could affect its performance or safety. I want to make sure that the fluids are up to par, and I could see that I could add a little bit more coolant, and also just make sure that everything looks good. I'm no mechanic, so I also take it in for a check up to see if I need to top off my oil, as well as any other fluids like the brake fluid or the coolant. Before you leave on any adventure, you want to check out your tires to make sure they're all 4 aligned, and also that the tires have enough tread and are inflated enough. Each vehicle has different levels of inflation for it, so definitely be sure to check that out, particularly for yours. And also you could use the quarter to check the tread. If you see that the head is at the top of the tread, that means you have about 4 out of 32 inches left. So definitely be sure to check that out so that your tires will get you from point A to point B. Next up, you're gonna wanna make sure that you have an emergency roadside kit, which will mean that you're gonna have your jumping cables, you're gonna have a flashlight. Make sure you also have a paper map as well, just in case you lose signal on GPS and need to track your way the old-fashioned way. And not only that, you're gonna want snacks, because if you break down on the side of the road, trust me, I've been there, you're not gonna be wanting to wait hours for help to come along without some food. One thing you're gonna wanna check is that your headlights, your brake lights, as well as your turn signals are working before your trip. Be sure to check them at around this time too, when it's not too bright, so you can make sure that they're all a-okay. All in all, you're gonna be as prepared as you can be, but there are so many unexpected things that can happen on the road, but at least you know that you have prepared yourself the best that you can for your summer road trip to keep you safe as well as other people safe on the road. Just beware when you're driving of people that are distracted pedestrians. You know, they're gonna see the beach, you're gonna be like running across the street, but you need to make sure that you don't hit them. Driving in Florida, you can have all these rainstorms all the time, and you gotta make sure you have your windshield wipers prepared and ready. So that was something that I switched out right before I headed to St. Augustine. Let's go on an adventure. Time to go. Alrighty, preparing for another summer road trip. I'm really, really excited. I am just getting ready though, because it's been a while since I've been in my own van, and I had to check some things out, like the windshield wipers and whatnot need like new rubber things. I don't even know exactly what they're called. And I need to fix my headlight. One of them is out. That's one thing you need to make sure before you go on any road trip this summer. Make sure that your car is, you know, in prime condition, because you do not want to be stuck on a crazy rainstorm in Florida with torrential downpour rain without having good windshield wipers and also lights. So let's go get that fixed before we head off to St. Augustine. I brought in my vehicle to get it checked, and they checked for recalls, checked my fluids, and also changed my lights and windshield wipers before I hit the road to St. Augustine. Another thing, guys, you gotta take breaks when you're gonna take a trip. You wanna be able to grab that cup of coffee or whatever it is you need to stay alert. That's what I'm doing right now. Let's go. I suggest bringing a cooler with you and getting some iced coffee when you're on the road. You're gonna wanna plan your route in advance and stop every 1 to 2 hours so you can get out, stretch your legs, and just also check your car to make sure everything is a-okay before you start hitting the road. This is the way I stay alert when I'm on the road and I don't have to worry about falling asleep at the wheel. Finally, all that road trip prep with NHTSA was worth it, and I was in St. Augustine exploring. I just drove to Mickler's Landing, which is known to be really good to find shark teeth, and also the facilities here are really nice and the parking seems to be free, so that's always a positive. That's what I love about, you know, road trips. I get to explore different parts of Florida like this, just making sure that you have, you know, your windshield wipers. I ran into like a rain thunderstorm, which always happens in Florida around this time in the afternoon, and it looks like it's kind of storming out, so I wanted to, you know, make sure my windshield wipers were good and I had to replace one. And that's just stuff you need to look out for before you head to the beach or places this summer. So definitely get your cars checked out beforehand, because I run into some issues that I needed to fix before this trip. You can enjoy places like this, Mickler's Landing. Let's see if we can find some shark teeth now. Alrighty, so I just drove and had my road trip. It was a mini road trip, 3 hours, but you should always be prepared when you are about to go on a road trip this summer, especially in this heat. You don't want to be stuck on the side of the road for hours waiting for a tow truck to come along. But I am in St. Augustine and I'm staying right here at a nice vacation home rental, and I'm right above the historic center of St. Augustine, which is the oldest city in North America. It's nuts. And I'm really excited to explore with you all. But yes, road trips and NHTSA help me follow the right rules to stay safe on the road so I can come to destinations like this. So if you haven't already done so, please go check out their summer road trip tips for 2023 this summer before your road trip. To make sure you take the trip before the trip to go check out, make sure your oil's been changed, make sure your headlights are working, your air conditioning is all set, everything that I've mentioned in this video, because you are not going to regret it. It'll have you have epic adventures like this one yourself. But for now, I'm going to go inside and enjoy some lunch and coffee before starting exploring. But make sure, if you haven't already, to like this video and subscribe if you thought it was helpful, and let me know any comments below about what you think about your best road trip tips for this summer.